Does Dave Aranda have a problem? Does Dave Aranda have a problem attracting offensive talent to this team? Because all we've seen is defense, really, in this portal window. And in the last one, you got Kobe Prentice, which is good, like Kobe Prentice. You got some offensive line depth. But after the spring finale, just a few weeks ago, Dave Aranda said, that's not what we're trying to do. And I'll play the clip again. Remember, it's not the greatest sound, but Dave Aranda doesn't want to just get defensive guys.
This particular transfer window has been primarily defense for us. It hasn't been intentional. You know, we haven't come out trying to play defense. We very much wanted to be offensively minded in our approach, but it was one thing after the other. And so now that we're on the other side of that, it gives us the ability to play a little bit more offense. You'd rather play offense than defense.
I know he meant it a little bit metaphorically, but I think he was being right there. We want more offense. We're trying to get more depth on the offensive side, and still they keep sending out offers and they keep getting rejected. Jermichael Carter said no. Keelan Marion said no. And now we're still waiting a week after Josiah Gathings got an offer, the end of last week. What is the deal? Why wouldn't you want to come play for Jake Spavital? Why wouldn't you want to play in an offense spearheaded by Sawyer Robertson and Bryson Washington and Josh Cameron? Why can't they get offensive players to come and play here? Because they sent out 2 more offers yesterday, and they're both on the defensive side. It's cornerback KJ Makins from Houston Christian and a defensive lineman, Alessandro Lorenzetti from Michigan, a Paisan from Michigan. And by the way, the stats are not very robust for either of them. KJ Makins put out like this 30-second clip of his highlights on Twitter. It's like 2 hits and a bunch of him like walking around. Alessandro Laurent, I guess he's from Quebec, Lorenzetti. He's got 1 more year left. And here's how his years read at the University of Michigan. Freshman year, named Scout Team Offensive Player of the Week for his role in preparing the defense for Michigan State. Did not see game action. Sophomore year, did not see game action. Junior year, did not see game action. You could have fooled us if he played at the University of Michigan. He played just as many snaps as I did for the University of Michigan. Okay? If this was Rudy, there would be no movie. There was nobody laying down the jerseys. And I know it's May, right? You're getting depth guys at this point. But how is it that Dave Aranda, who doesn't admit anything to the public, never seeks out the media, is actually saying in the media, we're trying to get offensive guys here. And they're sending out offers and they're not coming. Is it a money thing? Is it a coaching thing? I don't know. He seems to get defensive players just fine. And you did get Kobe Prentice in the first part of the first portal window. But how come this offense that dominated the Big 12 in the back half of last year with one of the best returning quarterbacks in the country can't get offensive players to come and transfer here? Not even the ones that are playing at McNeese, let alone the ones that was an All-American at BYU. Why can't they get these guys to come here? I'm starting to get a little worried about it, right? Because this year they'll be fine. Okay, they don't need a bunch more firepower on this offense in 2025. But like, what happens next year if Bryson Washington and Josh Cameron and Sawyer Robertson all go to the NFL? And Ashton Hawkins is no longer here, and Michael Trigg is no longer here, and you're throwing out Matthew Klopfenstein and Taz Williams and Jaden Porter. I think we all like the potential of those guys. But we see that the teams that win have experienced guys at skilled positions who usually come in through the transfer portal. And if Dave Aranda is going to have the same problem of not being able to get guys out of the portal that play offense, you're either going to have guys that aren't good enough or aren't going to have any kind of enough familiarity with the system because they're all coming in April or May of next year to play in August, rather than coming in April or May of this year to play in August of next year. It's concerning. It's a little concerning. I'm not going to lie. I know defense was the bigger issue this year, and I'm not even necessarily talking about this year. But we know from recruiting specifically, but also in the portal, that Baylor has to be buying from a position of strength. They can't let the cupboard run bare, no pun intended, and then throw out all the money they have and just buy a new team out of the transfer portal. They can't do that. Can't do that. Couldn't do it with recruiting. That was a problem for years. And in the first couple of years of the portal, it was a real issue. So not just for this year, but for the next couple, this needs to start turning. The tide needs to start turning here. Baylor's going to need to start getting some offensive players, especially when they're out there saying that's what they want. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's completely free. It helps me keep my job, and you can help us on the path towards 4,000 subscribers.